Virgo is stemming from the sixth house. What's the sixth house? Work, routine, what we do in an everyday. It's not only what you do work-wise, but it's do you brush your teeth every day? That's a routine. It's something you habitually do. So wherever you have your Virgo house, that's going to represent what you have to work on, what you have to structure. The planets there are going to give you a precise understanding on the energy that you have to put out for you to synergize whatever you want to alchemize, which is your purpose. But the sixth house shows you how to practicalize it daily, routinely. Looking at the three earth signs, which are the second, the sixth, and the 10th house, these are the earth triplicities. We can get a broader mental understanding of how to categorize whatever goal we want to pursue. There's many different calculations that you can look specifically to see how you can manage your energy. And I know this sounds broad, but it's pretty practical. For instance, let's say you have in the second house, Libra, in the sixth house, you'd have Aquario, and in the 10th house, you'd have Gemini. So that makes you a Virgo rising. So that means that your rising, where you ascend, the specific time, location you were born at, that plays out specific energies in the day. Those energies manifest as planetary influences. The combination of the planetary influence shapes your synergy. Astronomically, we can see the energetical influences being externalized through our life path, and the planets are the energies being carried out through the chart. So let's say you have a lot of planets there. That means that you're putting out a lot of energies on your habits, on your routines. But you might have a very different routine-like archetypal mental structure than someone else if you had air there, meaning Aquario, which is you network, you associate, you are fixated with the way you communicate. That's what makes you stubborn, but unique and original. So if you have that in the sixth house, you have to work on your Aquarius archetypal structure. Or if you don't have any planets there, that means that that's a life situation. So you're going to gain the experience of the archetype of Aquarius, which is passing the water. So you have to become fixated with the water, with whatever you're perceiving mentally, and then transform it. That's why air signs deal with the mental, past, present, and future. Air signs don't dwell in emotions, they navigate them. Aquarius, that's dealing with the networking of the communication, with the mental realm as a whole, whereas Gemini is the inquiry mutable there. So they deal with the mental stimulation from within. That's what makes them curious and be able to be everywhere because they're always questioning and fluctuating in conversation. Whereas Aquarius are fixated with their way of communicating, but then they externalize that to the collective and makes them leaders because other people follow their unique ideas. And then we have Libra, the relationship sign, meaning how you initiate and create a relation with the world, with people, and with yourself. You're externalizing your communication to initiate something. Libras are exalted in Saturn because they love to put discipline, boundaries, structure on what's fair, what's balanced. They love harmony and beauty because they have this framework of harmonizing things naturally. So they harmonize their relationship with everything around them, the world, with other people, with themselves. They communicate about that through a poem, through writing, through painting. They're harmonizing their own internal inner perception of the energy in motion, which is how other people perceive things, how themselves perceive things, to share and to relate what they see. Whereas Gemini is just being curious for their own mental stimulation. And Aquarius is being fixated because they want to change the world. So they have to externalize whatever they are mentally framing so then they can fixate a new idea on Earth and other people can follow and they can be the rebels. That's why they're ruled by Uranus, which is rebellion. Uranus is also correlated with being rebellious and changeable because they're correlated with Chiron, rebellious, changing. In order to heal a wound, you have to change, you have to rebel from your conditioned state of being or from the world's conditioned state of being. That's why Chiron heals. Chiron has the force of ancestral, past, very deeply wounded traits from something unconscious because, as we know, when we're looking at the fixed stars and the asteroids from the external side of the ecliptic, they're correlated with past lives. They have a deeper influence because they come from outside the ecliptic, from outside our seasons, from Earth. We're only perceiving things from our seasons. But if you have an asteroid that's outside in the ecliptic, then it's going to be from a deeper influence. Chiron is an asteroid but it travels in the in and the out because it's in between the belts. Since Chiron orbits around Uranus and Saturn and the ecliptic, then it means that it carries the weight of both of them, the force. So Saturn is restriction, discipline, hardship, and Uranus is change, rebellion. So you have to change and rebel against your conditioned state of being to discipline a new state of mind and get whatever you want to get outside of your womb. And it becomes how you heal other people, your internal value, what you can offer to the world. Going back to practicality and seeing how we can start to use our houses, we look at the 6th house, Virgo archetype. It also represents the archetypal structure, the everyday structure of Chiron, which is working on our Chiron, applying the Chiron, applying our wound when it's healed, when we've seen it, and we make it a part of our value. My battery is that. You can also look at the numerology of each house to understand what it's trying to convey. For instance, when we're looking at the 6th house, 6 breaks down to 3 and 3. 3 plus 3 make up the mutable round because Gemini is the initiation of the conversation, of the mutable communication. The 6th house is trying to structure that curiosity. We're structuring the curiosity from the 3rd house in the 6th house. It becomes a routine, a habit, because the 3rd house is your surroundings. Everything that you surround yourself with, you're going to be curious about because your senses are adapting information. That's why Gemini are the twins. One in the mind and the other one is seeking outside. So they're always halfway there in the mind. They're here and they're out there. They're questioning, but then they don't care enough to look for the answer. They care about the facts, and then they apply the facts to create a bigger image. That's what makes them analyzers and have that Mercurian lens, but it's the jokester lens, which they're curious about different realms of their own unique communication, curiosity. Whereas Virgo, mutable earth, practicalizes those curious thoughts. Whatever you're surrounded with, that's going to become something that you have to structure, work on, because it's something that you have around. So now you have to practicalize whatever you have around to form a routine. So then, from the 6th house, we can then externalize that. That's Capricorn's archetypal structure. The seagull, you're climbing. You're showing whatever you've been building in the 6th house. Now you have to put structure, discipline, time to either get money, to get time in return, and to get value in return. That's why they're ruled by Saturn. So they can initiate and create new ways of practicalizing their surrounding, and then they can externalize this through the 10th house. If we look at the mutable houses, which are the 3rd house, the 6th house, the 9th house, and the 12th house, now we can understand how to be mutable with our energy, with whatever we're building, because then we can start to put the Saturn lens based on the routines we're having and the initial thoughts we were perceiving. Let's say you have your Mercury conjunct Pluto here. So that means that you're going to go through a lot of mental transformations. If you have Mercury here, it's also going to be a stronger lens because the 3rd house, since it's archetypally known from the Gemini constellation, then having a planet there that's also the ruler is going to place a bigger influence being emitted from that energy. So you're going to be very communicative in your surroundings. And whatever you're learning about, then you can practicalize because you have to structure your Mercury. And the planets you have here are going to help you structure that. The 9th house is going to help you apply the wisdom. Now you gain the experience from whatever you've been working on. Now you see different senses of expressions. So now we're talking about the mutable energies to get a better understanding of how you can mutate whatever you were initially building from the Virgo archetype, which is Earth. So you're here to build. But to build, you have to be mutable with the water. And when you look at the 12th house, it's correlated with the Pisces archetype. 2 fishes, one in the dream world, one in the real world. Dreams, illusions, creativity, you reach the end. So now you can dream. You can use your creativity to form something bigger than the experiences that you had, beyond what you can understand, beyond your unique chart, which is here, meaning your 360. Zodiacos Kyklios means the will, Kyklios, of many animals in Latin. This is our 360 wheel and we're navigating it through life. And depending on our horoscope, progression, is going to give us a precise viewpoint of our astrological map. So it's not about your sun sign, your actions. It's not about just your reactions. It's about your whole solar system. And I'm going to break it down video by video. And things are going to keep coming. But essentially, Zodiacos Kyklios. This is your mini animal wheel. So this is like your ecliptic sphere.